Welcome back to the Banana Show. It's been a year since our last recording because Tom had a fucking massive breakdown.
Was that Hanson? It sounded a bit like Hanson to me.
Did it?
I don't know. It sounded familiar. Was it a slightly different take on a song that's out there already, or was it completely original?
I've not been listening to any Hanson recently.
Oh, okay.
I did listen to a B-side maybe 2 weeks ago. That might have been
A Hanson B-side? Well, I can imagine that's well worth listening to. They turned up on something I was watching the other day, actually. The adult Hanson, as they are now. And I can't remember what the hell it was. It might have been some god-awful show on ITV or something like that. And there they were. And one of them had bleach blonde hair. And they all looked lost, really, in a timeless, weird state of being.
In a bubble, in a 90s bubble.
Yeah, like they shouldn't exist, but there they were, existing. Yeah. I imagine they still do very well for themselves because they still receive probably a fair amount of radio play across the globe.
Oh, but that's the dream, though, isn't it? To write one song and just curse it forever.
I imagine it's Umbop has probably only just reached a lot of parts of Eastern Europe, so they're probably all over it because they're often behind us in a lot of things over there, aren't they? So Russia and the likes. So
you think it's just spreading and spreading?
Yeah,
almost like a pandemic.
They're just riding the waves. They're just going from country to country, raking in the cash. They're all acting like it's a brand new song, and it's a brilliant life. Brilliant. It reminds me of the film About a Boy, starring what's his name? You know,
British actor,
yeah. Also the kid from Skins in it, who turned into another well-known actor. Is it Hugh Grant?
That's the one.
Hugh Grant, yeah. Because the story there was he got a lot of money off his dad's Christmas single, and he just lived a very rich lifestyle just because of that one song his dad produced for Christmas. And
is that an actual story of About a Boy?
Yeah, as I remember it, unless you're going to tell me I'm completely wrong.
I didn't even know. That's a little fun fact, that. Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was a book first, I think, and then it was a film.
Yeah.
I went to see that by accident, really, with a school friend at the time. We wanted to see Spider-Man 2, and it wasn't out. We'd been misled. So we watched About a Boy instead, and made a lot of noise in the cinema because we thought the whole thing was a stupid idea. And there was only like one other person in the screen with us, so they probably thought we were fucking dicks. But, you know, we watched it anyway.
I think Schindler's List was a laugh, wasn't it?
Where's that come from? You can't segue from About a Boy to Schindler's List like that.
Hugh Grant was in it, wasn't he?
No? Was he?
Was he not?
No, I mean, who's the main actor there? Who's Schindler? It's, is it Indiana Jones? Is it that guy?
Is it that guy? Thomas Ford?
Thomas Ford? What the hell? Who's Thomas Ford?
Something Ford, isn't it?
Harrison Ford?
Harrison Ford, yeah.
No, it's probably not him, actually. It's someone like that. I've got Schindler's List on my list of things to watch on Netflix at the moment, but it's choosing the right moment, isn't it? Because when's the right time to watch Schindler's List?
That is a good question, actually. I wonder if there's a little checklist that you could make.
The situation has to be just right, doesn't it?
Choose the right time.
It's probably one of those things where you just sit somebody down and watch it together, not on your own.
I think that could be a checklist, yeah. Don't watch it on your own.
Probably too sad to watch alone.
Make sure you've got enough sleep.
Make sure you've got enough sleep, because it's a long one. You can't, bear in mind you might fall asleep during it, and then that's an insult to the entire Jewish community.
Yeah.
And if anyone found out, they'd be like, right, well, so you don't care then. Yeah. You've missed the entire point. So that's another one. Got some tissues, because you not to wank, because wanking over Schindler's List, don't wank. That's another one. You don't want to do that. You might cry.
Yeah, I bet he's got a different list that's,
there's a different list like Schindler's List.
No, Schindler had two different. He had different lists.
He had his wank list, and it.
Two completely separate entities.
That's a hell of a porno, that, isn't it? Schindler's wank list. Oh God!
It could be like a search for the Holy Grail, the lost wank.
Presumably, as he was making his list, occasionally he would add some women to his wank list. Yeah.
I feel this is what they call dangerous territory.
Right. With that out of the way, I want to address a few complaints we've had about the podcasts, or this podcast that we're doing now and podcasts we've done in the past. It's an all-rounder, and a lot of people complain about the length of them. People saying, "Oh yeah, they're too long, and over an hour is too long. You want to shorten them, maybe half an hour, 45 minutes max." And I think, well, firstly, fuck off with that. Most podcasts out there are around an hour or more. What do you know about podcasts anyway? How many of you listen to? That's really insulting. It's like you're saying, I can't stand that much of you talking, to be honest. I just want you to shut up after a while. And, well, that's basically what you've done. You've insulted me when you've come up and said that. And the other complaint is that me and Nath agree on too much, and there isn't enough controversy in there. There's not enough arguments, and there's not enough sort of back and forth trying to decide on stuff. We're just agreeing with each other too much. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because why shouldn't we agree? If I want to talk to someone who agrees with me on most things, then that's not my problem. It's your problem. So just butt out of these things. They're nothing to do with you. Where's your podcast? How do you record your podcast? How many have you done? All right? So stay out of it. I don't want to hear any more complaints. Shut the fuck up. All right? So we've got that out of the way now.
We've created our own echo chamber.
Yeah.
Where ideas bounce off the walls back at us.
Yeah.
And
I like it that way.
It's our little...
I don't want to be disagreed with.
Yeah.
I don't want it. There's enough of that out there. I don't do this to be disagreed with.
Yeah.
All right, for the listener, it might not be good entertainment, but I'm not thinking of you when I do this. We do this for us.
Mm.
I think we've always agreed on that. So, just butt out, go and fuck yourself. I don't want to hear any more of it.
How have other people managed to listen to it?
I don't even know, because I'm not even putting it anywhere. So how they've even listened to it, I don't know.
Mm. Ridiculous. You said to me, Tom, you was burning it to DVD and putting them in time capsules.
What I do, I normally put them on DVD and leave them in random phone boxes. And if people find them that way, then good. But if they don't, I don't care. It's supposed to be a rarity. It's a treasure. This. If you find it, good for you. You didn't deserve it, though. To be clear, you didn't deserve it. Is it okay to have no hobbies, do you think?
Yeah, I think it's alright to sit in a fucking room and do jack shit all day, every day.
Most of your life, yeah. Everyone, it freaks me out when people do have hobbies. Then you think, oh, well, how much of that makes up your entire personality? Because that's always the fear, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you're a surfer, that's who you are.
Yeah, that is all you...
You say, hang 10, dude, and you talk about surfing the whole time. Your entire life, really.
Are you a surfer, dude?
No, I've never thought about surfing. I know some people I've come across at work and what have you. They've gone about paddle boarding. What does that entail? Is that just one of those that you get at the children's swimming pool? Those small boards that you float on to learn to swim.
I think so, yeah.
But then you take them out on the beach, and you decide it's more serious. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what paddleboarding is. It sounds pathetic to me.
Well, it could be extreme, couldn't it? I mean,
extreme
paddleboarding down whitewater rafting.
Yeah, it depends where you take it. Yeah, if you go and take a little board and you're out down Niagara Falls, then I
think what ruins it is the word paddle.
Yeah.
I mean, surf boarding.
So yeah, there's
skateboarding.
Yeah, that all
sounds. And then you get paddle boarding.
Yeah, why are you paddling? Is it because you can't swim?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Don't like it. But yeah, there's a lot of hobbies that people let consume them, really. You know, be it surfing, be it skateboarding. If it's skateboarding, you're just going to talk about that all the time. You wouldn't believe the grind I accomplished the other day.
Yeah.
I was ollieing like
the
mad.
Stunts.
Yeah. I've really come a long way.
That was a good stunt, rad dude.
Yeah, and they're using lingo, and it becomes who they are, and they grow their hair, and they wear sunglasses all the time, I think. It's that sort of thing.
I think the issue really starts to become problematic is when you choose a hobby that doesn't fit very well with what society expects when you get older. Yeah. I think there are very few hobbies that kind of span the whole lifespan. I think drinking is a good hobby that does kind of, it starts in the teenage and it's completely acceptable up until the
your whole
final
life,
moment.
Until you die, yeah.
I mean, skateboarding, rad dude, is
Can't
something more...
It's not everyone can be Tony Hawk, can they? Not everyone can be walking around 50 odd years old still wearing shorts and getting horrible leg injuries through falling off a skateboard. It's hard to pull that off, but I think I'm seeing more of it these days. People getting on in life still skateboarding, and all credit to them. If you're going to do that, that's fine. Just have other conversations to go into in company with people who don't enjoy skateboarding, because otherwise this is a hazard. Skateboarding and anything like it, you're going to alienate people, and you're going to make them think that that's all you're about, and that's the fear. But I'm talking like I'm trying to defend people who don't have any hobbies, because I'm pretty sure I'm one of those people. But here we are recording a podcast. That could be a hobby, couldn't it? But I don't let it consume me. I don't let it dominate conversations that I have.
I'd say the podcast is more work oriented.
It is work, yeah. You're right. We are paid for it, so it's different, isn't it?
Yeah, it's with the intention of getting paid. I've not received any money for it yet.
Have you not?
No.
That's weird.
I don't know if you've got my account details or...
It's not me, is it? It's admin. You want to take it up with admin.
Okay.
It's just an administrative task that somebody does somewhere. There's a number to ring, and I'll give you it at the end.
All right. I have been sending emails, but...
Okay. This is really weird for me, because I've been quite wealthy since we started doing this, really. But
yeah. I've been struggling, Tom.
Okay, well, we'll address it. We'll sort that out. That's fine.
You're going to sort it out, though, aren't
you? Yeah, because I care about it as much as you do.
Yeah,
definitely.
You're not going to push me out or anything, are you, Tom?
No, I wouldn't do that. No. But we were at risk. I think we mentioned this before we started recording, of talking about drinking too much, because I think we do that a lot. But drinking is a great hobby. Someone asked them about beers the other day at work, and I took it upon myself to send them a list of beers I think that were worth trying. It was all Belgian beers, really, because I think he had no experience with Belgian beers, which in my opinion are the best beers. So I think it was Friday night, just this last week, and I wrote this entire big long list and sent it to him on WhatsApp, and he messaged back saying, "I'm just with my mate, just drinking Estrella, but cheers for that, buddy." And I was sort of thinking, I'm the worst nerd going. I'm sat here on my own, writing out a list of beers while he's with his mate, enjoying himself with his Estrella. What a sad act. What an utter sad act.
Did that hurt?
It did hurt, yeah. I said to Millie, "Am I a sad act?" And she said, no. But it was one of those where you knew it was probably yes.
I'm wondering if you've picked up on something there. If you're maybe jealous of somebody else's hobbies, is pretend to be interested in it.
Yeah.
Get them to deliver or even write lists for you about everything that they know, for you to go, actually, I don't think it's very good.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard with hobbies. It's hard to get other people involved, isn't it? Because, it depends how far gone you are. If you're really into something, and then you go, yeah, you should get involved, and then you overload them on the information and what it takes to be involved with that hobby, they immediately put off, and they go, well, this guy's a fucking sad act, to be honest. I don't want to be involved with this if I turn out like that. It's the fine art to these things, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to get a paddleboard and just kind of infiltrate the community and see what it's all about.
Yeah.
And then soak up all that information. And then kind of openly say to everyone, this is really shit.
What they're doing, as I discovered and always suspected, is that they're taking the stupid little paddle boards out, and most of them can't swim, and most of them drown quite often as well because it's just a shit show.
That's why there's so many second-hand paddle boards.
Yeah, presumably so. Yeah, it all makes sense really, but yeah, it's good to take down people's hobbies as well. Really ruin them. Then,
I do really like the idea. As the older I get, is the idea of all gear, no idea.
Yeah. There's a lot of that, isn't there? Yeah.
That's a really good approach.
Yeah.
Which is just turning up with $3,000 worth of golf clubs.
Just smacking them all straight into the ground.
Have you played before, mate? Yes, but only at a driving range.
Because it appears that you've spent roughly £3,000 on all this gear, and you don't have any idea, do you? Really, it's a bit embarrassing for you. But if you ride through it and you know that to expect that, then you're all right, aren't you? You turned up, you've got no idea but the gear, and you go, right, well, I know this is going to be a blasphemy of fire. I know this is going to be hard, but I accept it.
Yeah. I mean, you could go the alternate route, and instead of actually trying to play the sport, is just infiltrate the club and the bar.
Yeah.
And then when people start questioning your capacity to understand and even play the sport in which you have $5,000 worth of gear, is the point that you find a new hobby.
You're not getting any better at this, and you're spending more and more money. What's your motive? And in the end, if really the whole time you just want to abuse other people and make them feel stupid, then that's great. I think it'd be worth the money that way, wouldn't it? If you just turn up and you keep on taking other people down on how they play golf and make them feel stupid for doing it.
I think you've hit a new angle there.
Oh,
that's almost like
mission accomplished, isn't it?
What angle would that be? That would be
ruinous, really. It's just
which where you go in thinking that you know how to coach people whilst never doing the sport or hobby yourself.
It's talking shit the whole time, really. Just say, yeah. What you want to be doing is swinging it this way, and you know nothing about the sport at all.
Yeah.
And so you're ruining their game. It's taking you down. It's taking yourself down with everybody else, isn't it? You've spent far too much money on this, something that you're not even that committed to, and you're ruining other people's time as well. I really like the idea.
Yeah.
I really like the idea.
And then it takes 5 years down the line for an actual genuine professional to go, why are you doing it that way? That's fucking stupid. To which you reply saying 5 years ago I met this ex-professional who told me this is the best way to do it.
Yeah. So they're like, oh really? What? Oh. So you're just unperturbed, really. I thought that would be the finish line. I thought then you'd been figured out, so you'd have to draw a line and stop, but you wouldn't. You'd just say, no, actually, I think you're wrong.
Yeah, you just continue going until pissed off enough people that they kind of got together and go, hang on a minute, who's this Tony that seems to know about 50 different sports and seems to be an ex-professional in all of them?
Where's he come from? It's just since he turned up, like, I've got worse and worse and worse. And it's just things that he says. He sounds really convincing. And you watch him play, and he's shit. And I can't, what's his motive? And then we'll just find out what's popular in and around Hull and just take them all down. We'll do bowls, we'll do tennis, we'll do skateboarding, whatever's going on. We'll take them all down. Brilliant. It's going to take at least 10 years, but we'll do it.
It's a long game. I would agree.
You have to keep turning up, and you have to spend a lot of money, a really lot of money. There's a lot of commitment involved, but Christ, by the end of it, you know that nobody's doing those things anymore because you've ruined it for them.
Yeah.
Palming off very, very bad advice on everything and making out that you know what you're doing. Oh.
Is that a hobby within itself?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's the anti-hobby to end all hobbies. It's fantastic. That'll really show them. I'll feel very satisfied by the end of it, knowing that I'll have no hobbies, but neither will anybody else. It'll be fantastic. We'll invade the sewing community. They're probably out there cracking on. Don't think women have escaped this. I think we've talked about a lot of male sports there, but women are up to some stuff, aren't they? I think we can take them down.
Yeah.
What's crocheting? Is that just sewing as well?
I think so. With the sticks.
Yeah. Tea rooms, is that a hobby? Do they get together and chat around?
I think garden centres are.
Garden centres, yeah. The garden.
They have tea rooms in them.
The gardeners definitely deserve it. Yeah. To keep turning up around the garden centre and buying a load of shit, palming off advice, saying this, that, and the other about soil.
Yeah.
That you know nothing about. Brilliant.
Just creep about the aisles until somebody stops and be like, "No, you don't want to be buying that." And then after 10 minutes of them being like a very nice British person, you manage to convince them to buy some at 3 times the price.
Yeah.
And then pressure them at the checkout.
Yeah.
So you're always following them.
Yeah.
So they can't back out. You only disappear when the transaction's taken place.
It's going to be such a good 10 years. It's going to be great. Fucking great.
What was the original question, Tom?
Is it okay to have no hobbies? And by the end of this, it will be.
Well, I think we've discovered some new hobbies along the way.
Oh, yeah.
And it's... and I think we all have a hobby, even if it is the anti-hobbies.
Yeah, it's fine. But it's difficult, isn't it? Because people go, oh, well, I'm into playing games, I play on my Xbox. And you think, well, I don't know if that qualifies. And it is a hobby, but it's just not one of the best hobbies, is it? The inactive hobbies, the non-physical ones. But I read something a while ago about the amount of calories you burn while you're playing games, so...
The chess one.
Yeah.
Apparently you burn loads of calories playing chess.
Yeah, I don't get how calorie outtake works, but yeah, people can do what they want, can't they? I don't know. Who am I to stop them? In fact, I might be the perfect person to stop them. Putting it to the test then, responding to feedback. I'll go through a list of things to see if we agree. You okay with that? Do you think you want to do that?
It sounds shit, Tom, but I'm happy to do it.
Right, well, we don't have to do it.
I'm happy to oblige you.
If you think it's shit. See, already we've disagreed. So, yeah. Shows you, doesn't it?
That's what the crowd want, wasn't it?
Yeah. Ghosts. Do they agree? Do they happen?
Do they agree?
Do they agree? No.
I don't know what they agree with, Tom.
No, ghosts tend to disagree,
Never
don't they?
spoken to
Ghosts have disagreed with dying.
Maybe.
Yeah.
They're the angry ones, aren't they?
Mm.
Some of them might agree with...
Well, even the pleasant ones have said, no, I'm not dead.
I think ghosts know they're dead.
Do they? I don't know. Who cares?
Do
you think they exist, though?
Yeah, but I don't think they can walk through walls.
Right. So they just stay in one room, presumably.
Yeah. They have to. Every physical object is physical to them. They have to creep around.
Yeah, I imagine.
And they have to wait for people because they can't interact with the world. So they have to wait for other people to open doors.
Okay.
So I'm sure there's one stuck in a cupboard who's been there for a very long time.
That tends to be the case.
That's the horrible thing about getting buried.
Yeah. It'd be like that Ryan Reynolds film, Buried. Is it called Buried? I don't know. But the entire
would be
film.
The name if it was called Buried.
Yeah. It might be called...
It'd be a very fitting title.
Yeah, it should be called Buried. It might not be, though. It could be just Coffin. Or, I don't know. But yeah, the entire film is just him buried. Though he did get out in the end, or that was just his fantasy. I don't know. Anyway, I don't think ghosts are real. And you do. So there we go. There's one done.
That's a big disagreement.
It's a big disagreement, yeah, and yet we're still here. Yeah. Paedophiles, should they be in prison?
Well, it's a very touchy subject, but yeah.
You think they should be in prison?
Yes.
Well, I don't know if I agree, to be honest. I think is there better ways around it? Could you put them in a cage outdoors? I don't know. Don't have to be in prison though, do they? What's the answer? What's the answer to paedophiles? Could you smack them about and will they learn? Is there a way out of being a paedophile? Maybe. I don't think we quite agree on that one. I'm not sure.
I do like how intense it's gone from ghosts to paedophiles.
What about paedophile ghosts? Are you glass half full or glass half empty?
At the moment, glass half empty.
All right. Well,
I think because if the glass is half empty, it's still ready to be filled up.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, you've put a positive spin on something negative there.
Yeah. If you're saying the glass is half full, then you're like.
There's nothing to do with there. That's boring.
Yeah.
I've never even thought of it that way.
But yeah, you would say to the barman, "Look, mate, my glass is half empty," and he'd go, "Sorry, sir, I'll top you up."
Yeah. And
if you turned around and said to him, "My glass is half full," he'd go, "Well done, mate."
What do you want from me?
What? Yeah.
This is awkward.
Yeah.
Why have you told me that?
Please get out of my bar. You tosser.
Well, you just taught me something of a new insight into the whole premise, really. So there's something I didn't necessarily agree with, but
I made you agree. That's a progression. That's a dynamic that you don't often get.
And that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've managed to give you more information, and you've took in that information.
And as a listener, you think, well, Tom's learned something there. Maybe I've learned something. So that's fine. That's fine. Marmite.
It's alright stuff. Depends what you
Aha! Right, well, I beg to differ. I think Marmite's fucking awful. So,
okay.
Right.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
Big disagreement.
Big disagreement.
I mean, I don't eat it. I just...
Well, right now that you've told me that, I want to leave.
Yeah.
And I'm going to power through it. I'll struggle, but I'll get there. It's a huge disagreement, though. A game changer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I use it to lure cats.
All right. Cats like Marmite,
yeah.
All right, okay. Well,
absolute fiend for Marmite.
Ah. All right.
Rumour had it that I believe it was it Snow White covered herself in Marmite, and that's why she got so many animals kind of follow her.
And the 7 dwarves, how did they come into it with the Marmite?
I think it was Marmite and mushrooms.
Dopey fell onto Snow White and then got Marmite all over himself and then was eaten by a bear.
Yeah.
Stupid idea.
There's a lot more to the tale than the movies make out.
Just put me in mind of Snow White as a porno there. There's probably one out there, isn't there, where there's some woman dressed as Snow White getting fucked by 7 dwarves.
Covered in Marmite.
Covered in Marmite if you want. Yeah. Yeah, there's a fetish.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you didn't know that about yourself, now you do.
Would you say that's a hobby?
Oh, it's definitely
just
a hobby.
A very niche sexual...
What, that sort of fetish in porn, or actually doing it?
Is a fetish a hobby?
Well, it depends on how you take it, isn't it? I mean, if you're into PVC and that, then
You've
that's...
got all the gear, but no idea.
Yeah, there's another one I'll have to cross off the list as well. I'll have to infiltrate the PVC wearers community, the gimps and that.
Yeah.
You know, I'll have to take them down a peg or two. Turn up with a lot of expensive whips and really go into the detail about how people should be getting off, but not really getting off on it. I can do that because I'm not into the whole leather idea. Never appealed to me, but I'd like to put a stop to that. Actually, that's one I'll probably do early on. I think.
Do you know the band NoFX?
Yep.
Band.
Yep.
Their bassist, Fat Mike, has a podcast as well. And
don't start advertising other podcasts on the podcast, Steph. That's just weird. But okay, I'll let you off this time.
Okay, I'm sure you can block out the word podcast.
Yeah. Okay.
People can just fill it with what they want.
Yeah.
But he's into PVC and BDSM.
Really?
And I was watching one of his little podcast shows, and
he does a video as well, does he?
Well, he's talking normally with these band members, and then it finished off with him showing them all these gimp suits and getting them dressed up in said gimp suits and trying to convince them that this is the way forward. Right.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. That's something I didn't know about the basis from No Offence. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
That's interesting.
It's informative.
What is it, Tom? It's interesting.
Interesting, yeah, I'll say that. It is interesting. Yeah.
Now that's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a segment in itself that we've just done there, isn't it?
That is, yeah. Have you got out interesting?
Well, no.
I've got one for you.
Another one?
Yeah. So in January of this year, 2022, the Razorlight have reformed and they're planning on bringing out their 5th studio album, Razor 5. Now that's interesting.
Razor 5, really? No joke. That's Razor 5.
I actually
look out for it. It's coming. Or is it already out?
It's I don't know if it is out yet. I mean, it takes a lot of time for perfection to be made, doesn't it?
Have you written it down on a piece of paper?
I wrote down a quote.
Alright.
And the quote from January 2022, when the band reformed and got together to work on their 5th studio album, Razor 5, is, "As soon as the 4 of us are in the room, it sounds amazing straight away."
Well, that is... Well, if that's not interesting, then I don't know what is.
What is it, Tommy? That's interesting.
That's interesting. Guns or abortion? Who wins? Guns win over abortion, you think, straight off the bat? You sure of that, eh?
Guns are brilliant, aren't they? I mean...
Guns are great.
You can see why the Americans are absolutely obsessed with them.
Yeah.
Because it's just... I mean, look at all the video games that have guns in them. Look at all the movies that have guns in them.
Guns are great.
I feel jealous that we don't have guns. I mean, the only gun I've ever had was a shotgun that fired a little plastic fucking... sticky thing that stick to windows.
It's the thought of you trying to sort of downplay the fact you had a shotgun there. I only had a shotgun. Okay, in a world where you had to get rid of one, which would it be? You think you could have a world still with guns or a world still with abortion and you had to get rid of one or the other?
Well, I think... it's got to be abortion, hasn't it? Keep the guns.
Keep the guns.
Keep the guns. Yeah.
And you can't have abortions anymore.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Sat in this room right now talking to you, I can't help but think you'd probably be right.
Yeah.
But outside this room, talking to somebody else, I don't know. You've convinced me.
I mean, if I showed people my shotgun, which I wish I did still have from the 90s, I can't remember which shop it was from, but if I still had that shotgun, I think the argument would be very easy to argue.
Yeah. If you were sat there with it now...
just check out my shotgun, my plastic shotgun.
Yeah.
And...
imagine if that was real as well, and we could just blow a big hole in something.
Yeah. Guns are great, though.
Yeah. I don't know, though. It should be a difficult one. Can you find it within yourself to abort a child? It's a horrible conversation. And I should have thought about it a little bit more before I put it on you. You're right. But I don't know. The argument is you have to look at America and you have to look at... I mean, the reason why I brought it up is because they had another school shooting the other day, didn't they? Was it a couple of weeks ago now? And it was horrendous. I can't remember what state it was. Was it Michigan? I don't know.
I'm not sure. I know which one you're talking about.
Doesn't matter. Wherever it was in America, it's... it was pretty horrific. A lot of young children were killed, weren't they? Yeah. But also the subject of abortion came into it recently in American news because I think they're talking about banning it again, aren't they? Or they're changing the laws in some states to say that you can't do it. So it's been a bit of an uproar over there.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think the Americans took some massive backward steps.
Yeah.
With the whole abortion and they just can't get rid of the guns.
They can't, no, it's the Second Amendment.
My plastic gun was absolutely fine. I don't understand why you would need a legitimate semi-automatic, fully automatic rifle.
Yeah, but until you fired one, you think you had your good time with your plastic gun. If you'd have been offered a real gun and you firing that off in the middle of a field...
I'm sure they could design a gun that didn't actually fire legitimate rounds that could kill people, but still provided that realism. That kickback or...
The impression I get from...
a little bit of smoke coming out the end.
Yeah. The impression I get from most Americans who are gun fanatics is that there's no replacement. There's just, the more restrictions you put on them, it's all like a physical blow. They're like, how dare you take this away from me? It's like an extension of the limbs for them, I suppose, to some people. It's like, it's a way of life. It's who they are. It's an identity to carry a gun. And it's crazy to think, because we've never had that luxury or liberty, or however you want to phrase it. But yeah, imagine if you just lived your entire life with this right to carry a firearm, and then someone said, you're not having that anymore. You're like, well, how the hell am I going to protect myself now? I feel exposed. It's like if you had a suit of armour and someone said, that protection you've had your whole life, you can't have that anymore. But I suppose that's one way of looking at it anyway.
Yeah, it's quite a good way of looking at it, maybe. Yeah, you not having my suit of armour. But then...
What if the King of England comes round here and starts moving my stuff?
If nobody else has a suit of armour, then everybody's in the same...
Yeah. But people could still come around and punch you in the face, and you couldn't do anything about it. You could just punch them back, and now you're just exposed for the weak man you might be. That's it. That's the problem. It's like, well, being quite the feeble dickhead that I am, I don't want to actually have to physically fight someone. I'd just rather shoot them in the hip or something. That's it, isn't it? Is it that they're all actually small penis men? They're like, oh, I can't fight. It's too hard. I'd rather just carry this big thing that looks bigger than my penis, and that protects me.
I don't see what's wrong with just a good old conversation.
Yeah. Hey, why are you in my house? This is weird. You don't live here. I mean, what brought you round here? Is some confusion? I don't know. Let's sit down and chat. Come on now.
You're part of a what? A gang? Sit down. Let's have a cup of tea and some crumpets.
Yeah. There's a lot of friendly people in some states in America. I'm sure there is who could probably agree with you there. It's, what's wrong with a good old chat? We could get to the bottom of this. Find out what's really wrong.
The irony is, I think more people accidentally shoot themselves than actually shoot to defend themselves.
Yeah. That's quite a horrible statistic, isn't it? The number of people who just fire it off in their own home and injure themselves or a loved one. I think it's a staggering amount of people. Stupid. Every year. But, I don't know. You can't take abortions away because, shit happens. And I'm of the view that
that was religious motivation, I think.
Yeah, of course it is.
Because unfortunately, Americans are still kind of think that a religion can dictate law.
It's crazy, isn't it? In a modern Western society in America, they can still use religious arguments and be straight-faced about it. If they're doing it for a joke, then it'd maybe be a bit more believable. But no, the whole thing is deadly serious.
I would like to... maybe there is some over here, but I would like to go to some... like evangelistic gigs, and just really get into it.
Yeah.
Because I think I've watched some and it looks fucking brilliant.
What, Christian rock type of thing, or just
no? Where they just like
Christian frenzies in churches.
Yeah, that's it. Frenzy.
Yeah.
Praise the Lord.
yeah. People
And everybody's just fucking on it.
throwing themselves on the floor and just going wild, thinking they've been possessed by the Lord.
Yeah.
You know, I could get, it'd be a good laugh, wouldn't it? At least once or twice a month, get down there, go at it. You know, Jesus is their drug. He possesses them and they go at it.
What about? Do you get a glass of wine at the evangelistic ones?
I don't know. It's a Catholic thing, that, isn't it? The red wine and the wafer, whatever it is.
Is it?
I don't know.
I thought evangelism came out of Christianity. It's still Jesus, isn't it?
Yeah, but I don't know about the red wine. That to me feels like it should be a Catholic. I don't know. The only church I've ever attended was back when I was in the Cubs and the Scouts, and they offered a little drink of wine, I think, and I don't think that's a Catholic church. So yeah,
legitimate alcoholic red wine.
I think so. Yeah, I was always jealous, even at a young age. So I'll have some of that, definitely. Yeah, get up there. I remember one time it was only me and one other kid who turned up for church, and they gave us a Mars bar, saying, "Well done, cheers for turning up." Because it didn't hit me at the time when I was young just how a Christian organisation the Cubs and the Scouts was.
Yeah. I didn't realise either.
I just thought it was
Boys Brigade.
Yeah.
Very.
Boys Bumming Brigade.
Yeah.
But yeah, Baden Powell and all that, he probably was quite a very strong Christian, and he was trying to instill the message of Christianity. It didn't come through though through the sessions of Cubs and Scouts and Beavers that I went to, but maybe it just went over my head because I was too young to sort of appreciate it. But it didn't. It was just seemed like a bit of a laugh. Like me and some other kids, we'd turn up and we'd probably have a game of rounders or something. We'd play like indoor sports and fuck about. There was no badge winning in ours. I think it was probably poorly run. It was really shit.
I thought it was all about the badges. I thought.
Yeah, you'd think so, wouldn't you? Yeah. But nobody gave a shit. There was one fucking nerd, and I think his name was Tom, actually. It wasn't myself. I'm not talking some kind of our body experience. It was another Tom within the group. And he gave a shit about the badges. You could tell he was like some kind of fucking mummy's boy dweeb. And he'd do stuff in his own spare time outside of the sessions and then turn up and go, "Look what I've done. I've made this knot." Yeah. And give him a badge. And that'd be all on the down low. It was sort of like, it's not an announcement that's part of the session, like, "Look what so-and-so's done. He's done this and we're going to reward him this badge." As far as I remember anyway, might be getting this slightly wrong. Maybe I just didn't care. Maybe there was some kind of ceremonial presenting of the badge and I just blanked it out because I didn't give a fuck. Probably was. That's probably right. And I just didn't want the badges, I just wanted a good time.
Yeah.
And to be bummed by the scout leader as well, because he was quite attractive actually. And the fact that he chose me over the other boys.
Did you get a badge for that?
A mental badge, I collected them really. It was all. Yeah, he's kept on coming back for me, so I felt appreciated, and that made me the man I am today, really. So it helps. Yeah, it helps. Yeah. I think there should be a test in place when people decide to have children. It might be a bit Nazi, this. It might be a bit Hitler. But,
I'm going to say it's going to be massively right-wing nationalist.
It's not good. It's not a good argument I want to stand by, but it's an argument. It's an idea, Just if you're thinking of having children, you just have to sit a few tests and they go, yeah. It's like what I think in a previous episode a while ago we were talking about people being judged on their relationships because of how close they lived and the fact that they've just ended up together because they were just in close proximity. Yeah. And then every so often someone would come down and judge them and say, "No, I'm sorry, we can't commend this relationship any further. I'm going to have to stop." And then we came up with the film idea of the judge falling in love with one of the people in those relationships, and it became this big sci-fi crazy standoff.
You've got a brilliant memory for all this.
I listened to this the other day. But anyway, what about this idea that potential parents had to go and fill in a form and do a test or two and then say, look, we think we want to be parents, but I don't know if we're okay to do it. It's like the opposite potential future you have is the film Idiocracy, which was a Mike Judge film, who is the creator of Beavis and Butthead. I don't know if you've seen Idiocracy. It was...
I don't think I have, no.
No, it was something like 2006 it came out. And the idea is that potentially things the way they are, less and less smart, good people are having children, and more fucking idiots are having children. And eventually you end up with this horrible future where no one can do anything, everyone's just a fucking idiot. Idiocracy. And you could combat that with a test, couldn't you? And say, like, are you having children for the right reason here? Are we doing the right thing? Yeah. If it became a lot harder. But you've got some kind of awful dictatorship society there. It sounds horrible, doesn't it? Or does it?
Well, do the Chinese do something similar?
I knew we'd get back to China eventually, yeah. I think this is what we said about people judging people's relationships, is that it sounds like a Chinese idea. It sounds like something they'd be all over, definitely. But maybe. Well, I don't know how true it is about this idea that you can only have... you can only have boys, or is it girls, Chinese people, and they kill the boys or something. It's probably a very racist idea of Chinese society, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was all very fucked up.
Yeah. I don't know how true it was.
But I think the Chinese government are pretty good at these ideas.
Trolling.
I think if we could manage to get enough money to fly you over to China to see Xi Jinping. Is that the current president?
Jinping? Who's Jinping?
That's the current president, isn't it?
Is it? Is that what his name is?
I'm sure.
I couldn't tell you, to be honest. Is it the one who looks like Winnie the Pooh?
Yeah.
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 Is his name actually Jinping?
Oh, yeah, Xi Jinping.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
But
yeah.
I think if we flew you over, they would instantly make you an ambassador. As soon as you said,
look guys, have you thought about testing people before they have kids? And have you thought about judging couples to decide whether or not there should be a couple? Because you want the best people, don't you? And you want the best people with the best people, and you only want the best people to have the best children. So
I think you'd be living pretty.
Yeah. I mean, they're all thinking it though, aren't they? I'm not a revolutionary over there, I think.
Don't put yourself down like that, Tom.
Yeah. But you've got to mean it though. You've got to go over there with a real ambition about it and say, look, you're not fulfilling these ideas. I know you're all thinking it, you're all talking about it, but I mean it. Alright? Let's get this in place. Let's do this properly. Let's start judging these people, Yeah.
I think it comes looping back round to the hobbies idea, where if you go in with enough conviction, an absolutely horrific idea, such as eugenics, basically, you can kind of sell with that lovely leathery voice. And come on, guys, it's a great idea.
I mean this. I really
want everybody to be on board with this, because I think if we just give it a try, it'll work out really well.
They can do anything if you're just talking of shit, really, and in the right tone. Tone is a massive part of it.
I think if you look back on Nazi Germany and Soviet Russia and communist China, and you do get all these kind of political figures who are not fun guys.
No, they're not.
Who's the Nazi German? Was it Goebbels? Joseph Goebbels? I mean, he was like a strong character, but not a fun character.
No.
And I think if he brought the fun, he might have kind of been able to convince other countries that what he was doing was not as bad.
Yeah.
As maybe it seemed. Hey guys,
we're in this together. I'm not doing this just for me. Come on, it's not a bad idea, is it? Come on. If you just put a positive spin on it, if Germans aren't famous for sense of humour, are they? I think it might be an unfair assumption or picture of Germany that people have, but it's that notorious thing where they're the least sort of humorous nation. I don't know how true it is, it might not be, but what I can say is I've seen their version of You've Been Framed and it is fucking depressing. Like, there is nothing funny about German You've Been Framed. Nothing.
Well, the British You've Been Framed, let's say the general structure of it is kind of people falling over, but not getting like extremely hurt.
No, nothing too menacing, no.
Yeah.
But the Germans version was so meek, so fucking pathetic. It was like, where's the humour here? Nothing's happened. Literally nothing's happened. I mean, it was a while ago I saw it. It was on holiday somewhere in, I don't know, it might have been Corfu or something stupid. And it made its way to TV there. And the whole time, every time it was on, I'm desperate to find something funny here. It's very, very bad. So weak. It's so ridiculous. But I don't know. Doesn't mean that Germans can't be funny at all.
Yeah.
Of course it doesn't.
Did they have a German Jeremy Beadle?
No, I don't think they bothered with the presenter. There might have been someone talking over a few clips, I think, yeah, like the Harry Hill of its day now. Jeremy Beadle. Jeremy Beadle, was that You've Been... He didn't do You've Been Framed, did he?
He did. He was on a rotating set.
Then, was it Lisa Riley after that?
I'm not sure. I thought after him, I think they probably got a very short...
Jeremy Beadle didn't do You've Been Framed, you know. I'm fairly sure he didn't. He did, what was it? It was like catching people out, wasn't it? He would set people up and then he'd turn up last minute.
Like big pranks.
Yeah. It was like the... Christ, my memory is really good today. Last minute he'd turn up because he'd disguised himself, and then the last minute they'd be like, "Oh, it's you, isn't it? It's you, Jeremy, you fucking cunt, you fucking prick cunt, shit, fuck cunt." And
was that Beadle's about?
Yeah. I don't know if he did. You've Been Framed though. I might be wrong. He might have moved on to that. I can't remember.
Publications. Mr. Jeremy Beadle.
Now dead, isn't he? I know that.
Yeah, he's dead. Yeah.
Died presumably because his withered hand continued withering.
Ha! You've Been Framed.
Oh, he did.
Not only that, he was on You've Been Framed again.
Oh, he came and went and then came back, did he?
Twice. Yeah, that was videos.
All right, okay. My apologies. Yeah, fair enough. And then it was Lisa Riley after him, fresh from Emmerdale, looking fabulous. I remember when Harry Hill started doing it, there was one clip where there was some woman putting her laundry out in a tiny pair of pink pants, and it was rather a large woman, and Harry Hill said, "And there's Lisa Riley there." I thought, that's playing with fire there. What if she returns? You know, what if she turns up on set? Because presumably she's still got the keys to the ITV studio. That'd be a good fight, wouldn't it? Imagine that, Lisa Riley, Harry Hill.
That's quite a nice ending, considering it started with abortion and guns, and I believe it's progressed to Rachel Riley, Jeremy Beadle's hand, and...
Lisa Riley. Who's Rachel Riley?
Ah, bloody hell.
That's another person though, isn't it? I'm sure.
Countdown.
Yes, yeah, that's the one. Get her involved though as well. She can have a few swings.
Role play. Test 1. Tom is played the cashier, Nathan as customer. 3, 2,
Let's just introduce
1.
it first. I'll just go on about what happened here. Was I was sat in Costa and I had a haircut appointment at 9 o'clock and it was about 10 to 9. And I was on the assumption that Costa, like most coffee places, serve the coffee lukewarm so you can just drink it and get out. Fast coffee, as it were. And it wasn't. It was too hot, so I was running out of time and panicked, and then wrote this complete garbage. So that now you know.
You're alright, mate. There. My coffee's too hot.
Oh right.
Right. Look, I need to be somewhere, and I ordered thinking it'd be cool enough to drink it quite fast, you know. And I thought this was like fast coffee, you know, like fast food.
We've got a standard temperature that our machines stick to, I'm afraid.
Oh, look, mate, I'm a man about town.
I'm sorry it's too hot. Is there anything else I can get for you?
Look, I need to leave. I've got an appointment, actually.
Shall I put it in the fridge for you then? I'm not sure what you want.
I want to turn back the time and give me a coffee I can drink quickly.
Don't have a time machine, I'm afraid.
Well, if only you did, then maybe I could save her.
Save who, sorry?
Your sister.
How did you know that?
Because I was the one that killed her, Barry. It was me. But if there was somewhere we could make a coffee that could take us back to the night that drove fucking steamroller over her and convinced me to change my own mind.
I've thought about that night ever since it happened. How could you have driven that steamroller over her like that? What were you thinking?
Well, once I started steamrolling, I had strict instructions not to stop, and she just wouldn't move out the way. But I now know, and there's a way to stop steamrolling. I need to go back and just fucking tell myself, convince myself.
Well, I think if you can do that, then we have to try.
Right, I've been fucking thinking, right, and what we need is some kind of espresso frappe latte, I believe. I've read about it, you know, and if you drink the right coffee, you can go back in time and save dead people.
Okay, great. Just one thing, though. I'm not sure you're pronouncing espresso properly there.
What the fuck? It's definitely espresso. It's spelt that way. There's no fucking X in it. It's not Italian in, like, origin or something like that, you know.
See, I don't think you do know. I'm pretty sure it is espresso, and I work in a coffee shop, so who do you think is right?
It's fucking espresso, I'm sure of it. I don't know what you're talking about. Despite working in a coffee shop, it's becoming clear why your sister was fucking steamrolled now. You're a flat white family. You've no idea.
Get out. Get out right now.
You probably get your fucking coffee from McDonald's every morning and think it's good enough.
It is good enough, you maniac.
There's no point in saving your sister. This was already fucking doomed.
I think you've expressed yourself enough.
Ha, fucking idiot. I was just wondering if you wanted to have a little bit of a sing-along. I don't know if you've been practising any songs at the moment.
As a matter of fact, I have actually, yeah. You know, you remember the Ronan Keating song, You Say It Best? Yeah, I think I've perfected that. I've got that just right.
Oh, that's a really nice 90s number, that.
Oh, good. Yeah, I think we'll enjoy that, won't we? It's amazing how you can speak right to my heart. Without saying a word, you can light up the dark. Try as I may, I can never explain what I hear when you don't say a thing. The smile on your face lets me know that you need me. There's a truth in your eyes saying you will never leave me. The touch of your hand says you'll catch me wherever I fall. You say it best when you say nothing at all. All day long I can hear people talking out loud. But when you hold me near, you drown out the crowd. Try as they may, they can never define what's been said between your heart and mine. Smile on your face lets me know that you need me. There's a truth in your eyes saying you'll never leave me. Touch of your hand says you'll catch me wherever I fall. You say it best when you see nothing at all.
Some Sunfire, everybody!
Of course it looks.
Thanks for listening, folks. That was Tom with Ronan, Keating and When You Say Nothing at All.